Hi.
Hello.
Can I just tell you that I am on the tail end of a cold and it
Mhm.
feels good for it to almost be over?
Yes, I totally identify with that feeling. I'm on the last dregs of a cold. And yeah, and it feels so good.
I tried every home remedy, um, surprising home remedy,
Uh-huh.
flame of hot Cheetos. When you're
Definitely
congested,
spicy things. Like if you're trying to get over a sinus thing, like an ear, nose, and throat thing, spicy definitely helps. I think when I was going through my um tail end or the worst part of the sore throat, ear, nose, and throat thing, I was eating spicy um jerk chicken.
oh, okay, you was eating for real.
Well, I don't know if what the saying is. I always get it mixed up. Feed a cold, starve a flu, something, something,
That
whatever.
fever or something.
That's how I was feeding myself.
Fever, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it wasn't a matter of I need to eat well. It was more like had no energy to cook, so I ordered from Sweet Fingers in East Oakland.
Ooh,
I got some jerk chicken, and
mhm.
it was like, ooh, and it woke me up. And
Okay. No, I like to do. I mean, I know it sounds nasty, but it is an amazing combination, which is flaming hot Cheetos and orange juice. Um,
that's not a combo you normally.
it's like it's like when you know I'm sick, I'll have the Vicks Vapor Rub,
Mhm.
obviously. Kleenex because I need the sensitivity for my nose. Mucinex, Flonase, vitamins, orange juice, Flamin' Hots.
Mm.
So, you know, you're welcome for that.
For that tip.
For the tip, pro tip, pro tip. Other than that, how was your week?
Um, City of Oakland finished its budget. Yay! I went out yesterday. Oh yes,
Okay.
I rode my bike, got on Venus, rode through East Oakland. I was riding down 98th, which, in my opinion, needs a bike path, but bygones. I was riding down 98th, and guess who also was riding down 98th?
Too short.
No,
Oh,
Oakland Fire Department. Night, like a truck. They were just leaving a situation. They started down the street, and I was riding alongside with them. And one of the guys was looking at me, and I waved at him like I was a 5-year-old kid, and he waved back. So if you
me.
don't know, I have major crushes on firefighters. So any type of attention I get, I'm like swoon. Like,
That is a good question to have. Of course, me not like, ooh, too short. Then I should have known too short wouldn't have been on a bike. Uh, this is just this week. I will say the month of June kicked my ass.
mhm.
July is not starting off great. But I'm gonna manifest only greatness. So when things get rough, I'm gonna get over them. Had some rough news today. I'm gonna get over it. I'm not over it, but like I'm gonna get through it in a healthy way.
Yes,
It's
and
my
I sending you good vibes,
thank you.
good energy, and positivity. If you haven't, if you don't know who Van Van is,
Oh, you know I know Van Van.
yes, she had an inspirational clip the other day. It made me feel good, and it makes anybody that feel good when you watch her. She's
If
adorable.
y'all don't know Van Van, you must follow her. I think that she got put off of TikTok actually.
Right.
But she's on Instagram. Very cute little black girl.
Mhm.
Um, also raps. Her dad does the ad libs in the back. And Van Van is out here. She's at Essence Fest this weekend. Van
Hmm.
Van is living the life. Her debut single is called Playing Outside Every Day. And to
Okay.
be quite honest with you, that is a goal we should all have. We should all be playing outside every day. Don't she do her little dance? It's so cute. That's how you're doing a
My name
dance.
is my
Van,
name is Van
Van,
Van. I
Van.
have time to play. Playing outside every day. Playing outside every day.
Yes, she is adorable. And it's so funny because like her, because I follow her now on Instagram, the
Mhm.
algorithm will like put little pretty black babies in my feed.
Aw.
Uh and it always reminds me I don't want kids, but how much I love them. But how much I love them. So
You're
like
so
I
adorable.
love being an auntie. I love being able to play with babies. Um and so yeah, if you ever need some like little happy inspiration, Van Van and baby accounts. For me, it's babies and puppies always gave me unlikely animal friendships,
Mhm.
like my jam. That's what helps me through rough times.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now
Well,
now it's an earworm I cannot get out of my head.
well, speaking of rough times, let's talk about Port Charles. You ready?
Yeah.
Um, hopefully, I mean, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. Like, this has been a day for me already. So hopefully, I don't get us canceled by saying something wild today. Who knows? Maybe this is the last episode of Sunday Shift because y'all will have canceled us. Um, because I said something wild. We'll see. Um, I'll step into a recap. In the aftermath of Drew's sentencing to Pentonville, Sam is not happy with him, but agrees to take Scout to see him on the weekends. Poor Scout. She was like, Mom, I remember when you was in jail too. I was like, damn. Um, Drew and Carly say goodbye while Cyrus is shown waiting to meet Drew at Pentonville. Loved it. Eddie Main still doesn't remember his family, but oddly remembers a picture of himself. I don't know what's happening. He wants to leave on tour, which Nina pushes him to do, but Sonny convinces him to let him use his connections and help him with local record labels and clubs in exchange for him staying in town and letting his family know that he is okay. BOQ talks with Maxie and downloads all the info on the Deceptor to give to Tracy. Meanwhile, Lucy is still concerned with Martin's behavior, starting with the fact that he is insistent that he gets no credit for the Deceptor. So she hires Felicia to look into him. Anna was targeted by some graffiti on her door, and Valentine did not think she was taking it seriously enough. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think Anna's taking it seriously enough either, and I don't like that. Um, they share goodbyes as Laura, Kevin, and Valentine leave for Chechnya. I don't know, is Yuri still going with them? The world may never know. Austin and Ava are still dealing with Austin's deep voice bald head cousin. Austin makes Avery appear missing for a few minutes, which gets him slapped and somehow followed up by sex with Ava. I was confused, but I'll allow it. Carter shows up to Jordan's office and asks why she told Portia about their kiss. Zeke also shows up and Jordan dismisses them both. Now for the young adults. Sprina and Jex accidentally meet up at the biker bar that Oz Haggerty worked at, looking for info to possibly prosecute Esme. Trina learns that Spencer lied to her about getting rid of the fabricated evidence by Victor. Dex warns Spencer against using the evidence, and somehow they end up in a fight. And by fight, I mean my child Spencer got his ass kicked. Trina tells Spencer she's tired of the way he's behaving and leaves. Sante watches and provides lots of commentary. um, this also leads to Spencer having a conversation with Esme where they reminisce. Boo, tomato, tomato. And Spencer agrees to take a parenting class with him or with her. that Portia has some kind of way orchestrated. That's all I got. I'm still mad about it actually. So let's
Did you talk about Martin and Lucy?
which part about it?
Oh, the pool side. You probably I must have missed that. Um
Um, well, they had their double date with Mac and Felicia. All I mentioned was that Lucy hired Felicia because Martin was acting ridiculous.
he is acting
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so there's a couple of scenes that I enjoyed. Um Overall the week was the week. I think it wasn't like sweeps, but more like a maintenance spring cleaning. You know, the kind of stuff that you do the lightly dusting just to make sure your house is presentable when you have guests. That's how
This house is not presentable.
I
This house is not presentable.
well, well, that's interpretation. Some people's house is never presentable, even though they do what they think is some cleaning. It never works
As
out.
I look around my messy room and I'm like, please do not let this blur, unblur. I'm like,
I'm a presentable messy person. I have like my my jean jacket on a chair. My bed is made. I don't have piles of clothes, but it's definitely not magazine worthy. But anywho, we are digressing. I had some cute like scenes. I like the scene with actually Lucy and Martin when they go and when Laura tells um Spencer and Esme that they are the backup team. I thought I thought it was cute. Like, well, one Spencer was on one all week and just being hella rude to folks, and he was just like, "Martin, have you even picked up a baby?" I was like, "Dude, they do you a favor. Why why are you like cracking on Martin?" Um, and then I love the scene so romantic with Anna and Valentine sitting on the chair, on the stairs. That was cute. I enjoyed um other little scenes that I enjoy. Loved Carly getting her Spencer back. Loved not that she ever left. I don't know. But when she said that I'm Carly Spencer and I'm getting everything I lost back, I did like a fist pump because I was like, yeah, Carly, get your stuff back. So
I loved Jocelyn being so upset that her mom had to have a job, and I was like, same energy actually. She was like, I can't believe you have to work. And I'm like, what job Carly finna get where she making $millions?
right, she's never gonna make
Shit.
$1 million. She's just gonna have
But
to,
whatever, rich people problems.
but she'll figure it out because that's what Carly Spencer does. So yeah, I had there's like lots of little things that I enjoyed and some other stuff that I'll talk about in my for performances.
Yeah, I loved, to your point, Valentine and Anna. They were so romantic. I loved his kind of jokey way with her.
Mhm.
I think she's such a nuanced performer, like Finola's such a nuanced performer. And so to see her be like upset and then like come and kind of be relaxed and be like, okay, I'm going with you, like that little bit of resolve,
All right.
and then like figure out she's not, and then when Valentine comes she's like dismissive of the graffiti, but then finally she like settles into him, and when she said, I love with you I don't have to watch my back because
Mhm.
you do it, and I thought like Anna Devane, like everybody depends upon her like all the time. So when does she ever get a moment to not be dependent, like does to like actually relax? And the
Mhm.
only time she gets that is with Valentine. And so I really appreciated her naming that. And just like only they could like make sitting on a staircase like a moment. You know what I mean? Like they're so good. So I
Yeah.
loved them. And then I loved Sante as always. They cracked me up all week. Um, like I love Sam, or I love Dante and Drew as Sam's brother husbands. Drew was like in love with Dante too. He's like, whatever you do, just you know what I'm saying? Like I just think
Yes, I'm so grateful to you for ever anything you do.
yeah,
Stay with
yeah.
my daughter.
And so but yeah, I just and then like them at the dive bar. I would have rather, I mean, I wanted to see them because we've only had one Sante love scene the entire time they've been a couple. Wild.
Mhm.
But I did love them being there witnessing Sprina and Jex and like breaking it up and like they do a really good job of weaving into like romance and funny all the time.
Mhm.
And so I just really appreciated that. So those were my two highlights for the week.
Nice. Um, yeah, definitely Sam and Dante and Anna and Valentine giving great performances consistently, always and forever. Um, always top notch. I went a little bit of different direction, because I got, I always say whenever I get a reaction, that's when I tend to select as far as favorite performances. And for me, the first reaction that I got all week was "Oh, the kids are so adorable." I mean, the little like Joviela, Violet trying to set up Finn and Liz. Now, I don't care about Finn and Liz at all. But Violet was so adorable. I just love her with her little pigtails and her crooked teeth, trying to do something for her dad. She was, so sweet and, very predictable with the, oh my God, I'm having a bad dream. Please stay, and Liz's milk is the best milk and all this good stuff. I mean, she was adorable. I loved it. Um, Also, little Scout. Now, I don't know. I mean, she handled like you said, she's going through a lot and she handled the a really heavy, kind of scene pretty well. And I don't know if we've ever recognized her. The little actress's name is Cassette Abinate. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she's adorable and I love her name. So I felt like they all did a great job this week, and of course, little Ace, always adorable. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the little kid actors and actresses this week. My
I
second
love I love that you thought Violet was cute. I
yes.
hated every part of it.
She was just adorable.
I was like, hate it, boo, get it out of here. Like, but
And
that's just
we just talk
fine.
about how little kids this babies are adorable. And you're just like, boo.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here. I mean, there's only so much that like she could prop this awful couple. Like,
Right.
get
This
an
is
get
going
an
away
adult
well.
story for this couple. Like,
Right.
stop it.
Yeah, like it is sad that they have to use a little girl in order to get this couple together. But she did what she needed to do as an actress. So
No shade to that actress. She's very cute.
yes.
She is very good.
Mhm.
I'd rather watch an episode of Hey Leo because here's the thing: when Leo shows up, Leo is moving. Leo is talking to people I usually want to see,
Mhm.
and he's moving story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just be having
He's
Violet
moving good story.
all they have Violet do is prop all these grown people around her.
Mhm.
Get that off that little girl's shoulders. Okay. I hope that Jofiel gets her little spa day because her shoulders have to be tired because all they make her do is prop. Mm-mm. Anyway, sorry. Please continue.
My other performance, which I'm finally happy about, is Roger Howard. Now, I'm still confused about this Austin character. I don't know what he is or what he's doing or why. But I really felt this week that Roger Howard is back as an actor because I kind of felt all the things he does well, like being a slightly menacing, being weird, being hilarious all at once, and working well in a romantic situation. I think he does all those things really well. I don't even know if he himself understands the character, but he as an actor I felt actually was really present, and I was just like, yes, how Roger is back. And I loved it. I loved every minute of the romantic scene between him and Ava. Especially like it was funny because he starts it off, he kisses her, and Ava was just like, no, you don't understand. I'm the queen here. I'm going to kiss you. And then they go and have the sex scene, which was wild, a little bit wild. We didn't get a full scene, but it was definitely hilarious after the fact. The after the fact was the best part because then she starts cleaning up and like, you gotta go. And the best part for me was the keys. She threw the keys and he's just like, That was hilarious. I love that whole interaction. The scratches. He talked about, I know you had a good time because the scratches on my back tells me. Or and then he made the line at the end when he was at the door. He's like, I know you're gonna have a good night's sleep. And so I'm loving it. I'm loving Roger Howarth being back, and him and Maura West are amazing together. Some people are like, I don't know about the chemistry. I don't know if it's gonna be a good couple. I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying the journey, even though the journey is just really murky as far as writing wise. I'm liking them together, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm enjoying him again.
I love him and Mora as scene partners.
Yeah.
She was saddled with a dud in Nicholas for so long.
Right.
Let let her have Roger. They're fun to watch. I have no idea what's happening. I would maybe say that the writers probably don't have any idea what's happening,
Right.
and they're just making the best of it. They're like, whatever. And I would watch them improv together. So I'll certainly watch them be Austin and Ava together.
They could just sit in the living room and read the newspaper, and I bet you it would be hilarious.
Yeah, like they'd find a way to make it funny. Like they talk
Right.
about like, did you see this or did I, did I see it? Did you like? They would be funny together. So
And
I'm
it's not even, yeah, for me, it's not even just Ava. I mean, last his scenes with Laura, I thought was great. Him trying to convince Laura in whatever way he could to keep her in town. I enjoyed those scenes together with him too. So yeah, congratulations, Roger Howard, for coming back. Can't wait to see more. Even though you've always been here, but I think your skill as an actor is coming up again. And I'm loving. I think it's because you're coming with some great scene partners finally. So
Well, I did not care for this week, but something that is working for me is Zeke. I think I like the potential of what he's building with Jordan. I think he does really well and he scenes with Portia. I think I would love to see more of a dynamic between him and Trina. I loved the scenes that they've already had. He has been like a missing piece of Black Hospital. um, Jordan has for a long time needed and deserved to break outside of this kind of triangle with Curtis and Portia. And this is it. So I'm just really enjoying Zeke. I'm hoping that we get to see him kind of further into other storylines. Obviously, we have him as Drew's attorney. Um, so I'm looking forward to seeing like where else we'll be able to like put him so that he becomes like really integrated within Port Charles. So that's what's working for me. Zeke is working for me. What about you?
same. I in particular though, I'm really enjoying the smoke between Zeke and Curtis. Now, obviously, I'm Team Zeke, but I enjoyed the tension. And I enjoyed it. You know, the kind of it was weird. It's like Curtis is like, you need to mind your business and get out of my business with my daughter. I'm like, that's her uncle who probably had a relationship with her longer than you. And so for you to come at him like you need to, stay out between me and my daughter, I'm like, sir, you have to prove yourself as a dad to Trina and to everybody else that has already been in her family. So, but I like the attitude. I felt like Zeke could probably kick his ass, even though Curtis is all talk. So I mean, I enjoyed that part of Zeke being in town. I'm curious to know like how he, like you said, how he will move forward and what he's gonna do with Jordan. But yeah, I like that. That's working for me a lot. Also, teen angst is working for me. There's parts of it that's not working for me. I know there's a lot of people that are very unsatisfied with the writing for Sprina right now. But it's going to be a teen summer, apparently, because Laura's taking everybody with her out of town. So obviously it's gonna be a teen summer and so in the majority of ways. So yeah, loving it.
Um, yeah, I mean, I have a lot to say about Sprina, but we can hold it till we talk about Nicholas Chavez's news. What's not working for you?
Yeah, Finn and Liz is not working for me at all. At all. Like I said, I loved Violet, but I don't like that she has to deal with propping Finn and Liz. I don't like it at all.
Mhm.
Um, Another thing, which actually you're right, what might get us what people might quit us is that I don't like Violent Spencer. I do not like it. He's just
Oh
like
no,
I
no.
do not like him punching everybody or punching Dex every chance he gets. I mean, it's one thing for him to be smart mouth and snipey, but to punch him, sucker punch him for no reason. And not only sucker punch him all the time, but get his ass beat after. He looks like he could actually take Dex, but yet he's getting his ass beat, because Nicholas Chavez is certainly swole. And maybe because he's prepping for his new role, but he's big and he looks like he can take Dex. He can wipe the floor with them. But they're playing him as a sucker punching and getting his ass kicked, and I don't like it at all. And I think it's
Well, I mean, partly, I think size doesn't stop you from getting your ass whooped.
right.
Um, and I think that like it wouldn't make any sense for Spencer to be able to beat up Dex. Like it just would like
Right.
Dex is like a former military person. Like he was in the gym with the boxing beforehand. Like that's not who Spencer is. And part of like what is bothered me around him being violent is one, I'm like, why is he being violent in front of Trina like
Mm-hmm.
that? And it's just like for me, it feels like this misunderstanding of who this character is by the writers.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a theater geek. Like I actually really loved a little bit of his pretentiousness at the beginning of Sprina because him and Trina like bonded over art.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't they? Like, why haven't they again? So it's just like really frustrating to like see them take this character and like make him violent and not tie it to anything. And it just like keeps showing me how lackluster this writing is. Because even when I was talking about like Jocelyn and Dex and like their relationship being so sexual, I was like, part of the reason and the way we should talk about this, or the way the writer should have talked about this, was she had this taken away from her before.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is how she takes charge and takes back her life in this relationship. Spencer went to jail and was beat up. So like we should have seen him training and say he'll never like we should tie these anger issues to something real, and we haven't. And I think it's just like laziness in writing and laziness in like character development that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
So no, I don't like Violet Spencer either. I think that's awful.
it is very awful. So I'm hoping he's figuring it out. But it seems obvious. Well, I don't know. People on social media are guessing that they are writing it in a way that um Spencer and Esme might get back together. and so making him violent may be what leads to Trina not wanting to be with him, and that is definitely not cool. And you probably have a lot of words about the writing as far as Sprina is going, but I mean the obvious clue is Spencer and Esme having a conversation where they were getting along and he was actually being empathetic to her, and her seeing him half dressed and helping him recover, which is something that that's something a girlfriend should be doing. Again, it's like the writing is kind of giving us like this whole thing where Esme might actually have a chance again with Spencer, and that's not cool. Um, yeah, I don't like that.
But let's get into it. Let's get into spring.
Right.
So part of what I'll say is that what is frustrating as a Sprinter fan is to have things like given to like fans and then taken away.
Right.
So it was like their first kiss, for example, was like, okay, this is like moment, or like their first near kiss.
Mm-hmm.
It was like momentous. It was like, okay, he went to the gallery. He cares about her, and then we found out he slept with Esme the day before. So it was like something that was given and then taken back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he was in Spring Ridge, he gave her this art book. Like it was a big thing. Laura gave it to her. She gave it back. Now to have her say this thing that Greenland, which was like this big story for them, this big adventure for them, it was huge for like people who are fans of them, to then have her say, oh, this must not have meant anything.
Yeah.
It's like every time something's given to this couple is taken away. And I understand angst. And I even understand angst for the sake of angst, because that's how that part of that is how you build couples, right? Like with soaps, there's no end game per se, right? So the drama continues to like circle, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but this is just bad. And they
Yeah.
also don't give enough to the pairing um to justify how much drama they give to the pairing. So it's like it's actually not enough for the show to be like, here's a People magazine cover, because they just had a People magazine feature.
Right.
Like, here's a People magazine feature. Here is us putting them out as like the feature of the show for like the 60th, and like here is us highlighting them in the press. Because if I had just seen that People magazine feature, and then I hadn't been watching for a long time, and then like, because that's the kind of thing that made me be like, oh wow, look at this little couple, like this is cute, I might go back and see. If I had just like not been watching GH for a while, I'd be like, oh, okay, let me see, let me go back, and then I will go back and see what I just saw, and seeing him like cozying up to Esme.
Mm-mm.
What the hell is this?
It also makes me wonder about the timing, because what I don't know is like when those articles come out and when they're actually published, like what was in the writer's head as far as the future of the couple. And then also given the news that we just announced, what we just heard, now are they having to pivot in order to accommodate for his time off?
All goes into it. So basically, folk, I'm sure most people who will watch have heard that Nicholas Chavez has been cast in the second season of Monster through
Mhm.
Ryan Murphy. It's a Netflix miniseries. And last season was on Jeffrey Dahmer. I did not watch it. I'm from Milwaukee. I wasn't watching anything Dahmer related, especially something the families weren't
Mhm.
down for. Um, that's a whole nother story. But the Menendez brothers, I am a mess, and I will be watching that. Uh, whatever. I'm a mess. That's why I don't judge people, okay? um, 'Cause I was vehemently against the Dahmer one. I was like, can't believe it. This is terrible. Oh, the Menendez brothers. I'm gonna watch that.
Okay.
If Nicholas in it, he about to kill that.
Right.
Um, so he'll be playing Lyle Menendez. I kind of looked up how long production is. So one, he probably was cast in this a long time ago.
Right.
Um, a lot of this stuff was like determined pre-writer strike, and
Mhm.
they're just like rolling it out. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
We also don't know when production is going to start for the show. We don't know anything. And everything with the writer and the actor strike is pretty up in the air. What we know about the actor strike specifically is that it doesn't hit soap actors the same.
Mhm.
So if it goes on for a while, who knows how long Nicholas will continue to be on GH or what's been like discussed. What we did see from a TV Line interview or TV Line article is that he will be taking a leave of absence to film. Now, what we also know is that Nicholas's contract is up next summer, June
Mhm.
of next year. So we kind of don't know what that looks like. I would also we don't know how long they could have known for months that he's been cast.
Right.
Um, we don't know how long his interview process was. We don't know anything about that. So it's hard to speculate what's going to happen with Sprina or with his character with this happening. Um, so I'll pause there because I have tons more to say, but I'll pause there for you.
I would say, yeah. So that's for me. It's like I'm kind of trying to keep an open mind at the same time. Even if he is due to have an exit, they still could be writing it differently. They still could be building up Sprina to be the relationship that, the great relationship that we've been wanting and waiting for months. Like, if he has to take a leave of absence, then all of a sudden he could be kidnapped by Helena. And then Sprina's having to deal with missing her man and all this other stuff. They could still be developing a real relationship. They still could be making sure that Esme is paying for her crimes. They still could be doing all the things that should be happening. But instead, and that's the galling thing, is they're throwing Esme of all people in the mix. I mean, they could, if they really wanted to have angst for Trina, have another young, handsome man come and try to steal, Trina's affections. That could be their direction. But instead, they're, and no offense to Avery Pohl, because Avery Pohl's a great actress, but she needs to pay for her crimes. Point blank, period. So, um, this is what upsets me and upsets a lot of Sprina fans, is that the direction that they're going is totally wrong and offensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
100%.
yeah.
100%. And so I'll say this about me, and this is what we get into the part where I'm like, I might get canceled. And then I'm like trying to not cough as well. This is probably like the podcast guys were like, don't say it. I'm gonna say it. I think, like, I'm a Sprina fan for sure. I've been a fan of Spencer for, since he was a kid. But I'm also like, I'm a Trina fan because we don't get a lot of like Black heroines on soaps. GH is known for the baby mama trope when it comes to Black women on the show. Prominent Black women. Mary May came in with a baby daddy secret. Portia
Mhm.
came in with a baby daddy secret. Jordan came in with a baby daddy. Like, this is like generational baby daddy secrets for Black women on this show.
Right.
And Trina came in and built her way up to being like a beloved character across actresses. And so I'm always thinking about what certain things mean for her. So let's keep the shit a buck. Like, people hated Rory.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Trina relationship, which is why, I mean, I didn't like him. Let's be clear. Um, but part of the reason he was so boring is because they didn't build him.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't, and I wanted that for Trina. Like, having good, like, triangles is good for like a Black woman centered triangle. Like, that's amazing. Everybody knew that Sprina was like the like soap version of Endgame, but like, so now we all what have somebody else come in and do what? Like, it's already been established through a lot of the fandom that another man would be like harassed. And then like there is something I know. I mean, I didn't see everything, and I know that Twitter is like glitching this weekend, but I was looking because like I'm not really on soap Twitter, but I was like looking. I was like, I really want to see what people are saying because like I know if I'm mad, other people are mad, and I was seeing people still blaming Joss.
Mm,
What?
yeah.
Like
Uh,
that's ridiculous. Like this is like literally an Esme problem. It has been an Esme problem for forever. So now
mhm.
people are like, oh, well, Joss gets all this story and Sprina doesn't. Okay, but I thought y'all hated the Jack story. Every time I look up, everybody hates that story. It's forced. It's this. It's that. This is bad. So which one is it?
Mhm.
Is it Uchi Wally or One Mike? Do you hate it or is that what you want for your girl for Trina? Because that's like two separate things. Like I don't know what the direction of it was, but I know the way that Joss was slut shamed is not what I want for Trina.
No.
And so who knows like what was actually seen with that if they were like, oh shit, look what happened with Josh. We need to take a step back from like sexualizing this couple. I mean, I really would have no way of knowing. I wouldn't know, but I'm
Mhm.
saying that like folks was like had they eye on Josh and Jex, and you can and it's totally valid. It is totally valid to ask the question, why is this white character getting this story and Trina is not? It's perfectly valid. I'm not saying that it's perfectly valid, but like the eye and the focus was on Joss when we weren't talking about why is Esme being redeemed.
Mhm.
And I knew it was happening. I saw it happening in real time because what I know is that people love like crying white girls. If you look on Facebook right now, it's gross. Like so Facebook, all of it, oh, I like Esme and Spencer together. Oh, they make sense together. They're cute together. They have chemistry.
Mm.
She shouldn't even be in the position to have that said about her because look what she has done. They still are letting her say, well, the old Esme, they ain't been writing right for Trina for all this time.
Mhm.
And so it's like, but now we're complaining because what? Like, because like she isn't getting the romance that we want her. No, the problem is that Esme is there, period. The problem is that their drama is childcare. Spencer, get a fucking nanny and let's move on.
All right.
Like, it's just, and so like I just feel like when we are calling out the unfairness, and I'm not expecting, especially like Black women, to shoulder the unfairness of the whole, like, like I understand Black women fighting for Black women, and like you don't have to be, like a social justice warrior for a soap opera. Like I'm not asking that, but I'm saying that you do have to look across the whole field to see how everybody is being treated. Willow got fucking cancer, and we ain't seen Terry. I
Right,
thought he was gonna
because
be the
Terry is
fourth
her doctor, right? Her oncologist,
oncologist.
right?
Like, so when I was thinking we were gonna get a lot of Terry during the story,
Yeah, a lot of Terry bonding with Willow.
and maybe Yuri popping up, you know what I mean, or whatever it is. But we don't. But so like
Or yeah, we could even be getting Terry responding to the fact that Yuri's going out of the country.
we didn't even get that. So it's like, yes, this is really messed up.
Mhm.
And
And do the token story.
the what?
Pride Month. They didn't even do a token story for
Right,
Terry. It's
right.
Pride
They did
Month. Where
nothing.
is she
They did
at?
nothing.
They
They
did
did
nothing.
nothing for her.
Right.
And so it becomes like, oh well, this stuff is about Carly or about Josh. And I know like I try to like be quiet sometimes with them because I know I'm a fan of both of those characters. But I can also see when things are written like poorly. I think
Mhm.
the crew story is written terribly. Like Anna made sure that um Valentine was with Charlotte the night before he was going out of town, and Drew left Scout and was like, I gotta go check on Harley. Well,
Like
What?
he spent all of what, 5 minutes with Scout?
Like, are we telling a deadbeat's dad story or no? Because if we're not, this doesn't look good.
Hmm.
So I can recognize when certain things aren't written well. The Jet story is not. I mean, they have. I personally think they have good chemistry. Their story isn't written well. We spent this whole like months with them hiding because Sunny wouldn't want them to be together. For then Sunny to be like, "Just kidding, y'all are fine together." What? And now their story is basically like protecting Sunny, and there's
Hmm.
no natural drama. Like Michael should be mad that Dex is with Joss. Like the drama that like you're telling me that Carly, who lost her son to mob violence, who also just recently lost Jason, is like all good with Jocelyn dating Dex. Like there is a writing problem across the board, and we should 100% call out how it's bad for Trina and like bad for Sprina, but
Hmm.
it's bad for Trina that they are not centering her, they're not giving her a point of view. Where is Trina's job? Where is we literally watched her get lied to by Spencer, then him get into a fight, then us watch her go talk to her mama about it, who's manipulating her, where it's like a side by side of Esme and Spencer bonding.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is bad for Sprina, but it's also bad for Trina. Where is a story that is good for her? Where are people who are not lying to her, who are focusing on her? Because at the end of the day, it's just like I said, which is like Nicholas was always going to leave. So Trina, like Sprina needed to be a good story. We wanted a good story. We wanted to tell a good story, but his contract was always up before Tabianas, and I never thought he was going to extend.
Hmm.
So we always needed a story that was good for Trina. Sprina should be good for Trina too, and they aren't doing that. And so then when we get mad, or when there's like an uproar, like we still focusing on Joss. What? That didn't make sense to me. Again, I know that it's different for me because I actually like that character, but I just can't understand how that makes sense to be focusing in on Joss when Esme is right there. When the character that actually drugged and manipulated and humiliated her is right there.
Hmm.
That character getting a wild redemption arc. That isn't even an arc. That's just like, I forgot I was mean. Come look at me raise my baby.
Hmm.
And go to work for Alexis and have
Yeah,
people feel bad for me.
comfort you when Trina should be.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And the next thing that might the Sprina story's never been good. The actors have always been good,
Right.
which has made them popular with the audience. But if you like look at what they've done with that story, it's never been good.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you look at the story, you look at the relationship, even though I'm just like, man, Portia is getting in the middle of Sprina. If you actually look at the relationship from that point of view, Spencer is horrible for Trina. I mean, he came in manipulating her. He let a woman who has been abusive, stalking, and accused Trina of murder, of not murder, of
Revenge porn.
revenge porn. And then he gets her kidnapped almost. Well, she gets herself kidnapped, but basically, and if she wasn't traipsing after Spencer, she's kidnapped, almost died. He's definitely not good for her. And the relationship is not good for Sprina.
And I think the first time that I really was like, oh, this writing is like good for them was them being on the boat.
Right.
Because what I'm saying is like, if you think about again, their chemistry has carried it. I'm saying that the show has never been fair and
Right.
like done right by Trina. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So like they bring in Spencer, basically following because like there was like that whole thing with like Cam and like the love triangle and whatever. And then it ended up being her being like Cam and Joss. Now I appreciated like a little bit that Trina was like, this is fine.
Yeah, because he wasn't right for me.
But it still doesn't change what happened.
Hmm.
And then Spencer comes in and we do have that like small part that's like we all love it. Or I know that this like it was like me, you and Sasha, we all loved it. But then you turn around and then the parapet kiss gets like interrupted by Esme. So like that little bit of that time where they were like building before Esme came was great. And
Right.
then after that, the entire time they were building that relationship, he was in a relationship with somebody else.
Hmm.
Which for me was like really like a trope that I didn't like because it was like, okay, so the trope is like you like black girl, but you date white girl in public.
Hmm.
Okay. But like the writers aren't thinking about race in that way. So when you don't think about race, what ends up happening is it is always bad for black girls. And then, but because the chemistry was there and because like, like the fandom was there and people were like, yes, okay, like we see the plot. We see where this is going. And then it keeps getting taken back. There's not a delivery. Like there's not a way that is being delivered on. And some of that I think is because they're like always trying to make stuff epic for them. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, they have their first kiss, it has to be on the front page of a magazine or whatever. They have this gonna be on the front as opposed to like when they try to like line up their milestones with like sweeps or whatever, you end up like missing or feeling like you're missing beats. So like their first kiss, Trina was like, "Yeah, let's get it on," and then
Yeah.
they on the boat. She's like, "Let's get it on," and here we are months later, and they have not gotten it on.
Right.
And then we have to like watch the juxtaposition of like them fighting while Jex is getting it on. So I understand why that's a problem,
Hmm.
but it's not a problem of being like, fuck Joss. And I'm not even saying that people have to like her,
Right.
but
And it's not her fault.
that's not her fault. And it also like makes it seem like, so what is it? Now people are saying, oh, like she's getting this romance and she's getting this thing that Trina wasn't getting. But before it was like that story was bad.
Hmm.
We didn't want that story. So anyway, I said all I had to say. Again, I'm at the tail end of a cold. I said all I had to say. It was bad. I didn't like it. Um, Trina deserves better.
Hmm.
It is really hard to speculate where things are going to go with so many things being up in the air. With the writers' strike and actor strike and Nicholas taking leave of absence. But I know they need to do better by Trina.
Right. Definitely. Um so we kind of talked a little bit about Nicholas leaving. All that to say is definitely happy for Nicholas to be able to get another role and such a pivotal. I wouldn't say playing like a killer's pivotal, but it's on a pivotal platform, and it's going to bring him even more um, roles in the future. And I think it's definitely going to be a role that's going to stretch him, and he's going to do fantastic at. So,
Oh, he's gonna eat this. It's great. I
yeah.
think it's gonna do great.
So, congratulations to Nicholas Chavez. And a lot of people are speculating. I mean, we do know definitively that he's going to take a leave of absence, but people are like speculating and they're like, Sprina needs to have a love scene before he leaves, or we don't want it recast and all this other stuff. But we're hearing that right now, GH has no plans to recast. But, his contract, like Tracy said, is up next year. So it's going to be interesting times, especially now. I mean, with the writer strike and everything. But for now, yay, Nicholas. Congratulations. So, do you
Uh,
have any other things that you want to share about that?
well, I just have a few hot takes, not a whole lot, but a
Okay,
few.
go ahead.
Um, does anyone love a plaid clad amnesiac as much as Nina?
Apparently, I mean, that's, yeah, we didn't have our, critique Nina session, but she is so obvious. She's been so obvious in how she's been talking to Ed, Eddie, this past couple days. Whereas, she says, you can leave town, or, you don't have to stay. And then when Sunny offers him this, in-house or local music contract, she's like, yeah, but, sure, you can stay here, but in LA, you're chasing the dream, you're chasing the goal and the money and the fame and all this other stuff. I'm like, can you be more obvious? And it's very manipulative and very like and I want, like, people are speculating that he's actually faking and trying to catch, Nina or something. I hope that's true, but right now he seems really genuine to believe that he's Eddie Main. But I need her to be caught, and spectacularly so. And folks are saying it's probably going to happen at Sunny and Nina's wedding. I don't even know if I can wait for that. I need her to be called out because I'm sick of her manipulation. I don't like it. But yeah, go ahead, Tracy. I've taken all your talking points, and now my voice is like,
No, it's all good. I I think it's bad, and it's just it's been going on too long. I'm over it. Um, why did they auto tune Nicholas singing to that baby?
Do you think it was auto tune? Because I was just like,
Yes.
oh, I didn't know he had a voice. I
With
was
certain
like,
auto.
oh, he has a voice. Because
And then she
I
does.
wasn't, yeah, I wasn't strictly watching it. I was kind of doing something else, and just hearing. I was like, oh,
She's like, sing that silly song to the baby. I'm like, silly song? It's a lullaby. What are you
it's
talking about?
yeah, it's not a silly song at all. It's actually sweet and caring and endearing.
Anyway,
Um, yeah. Did you have any more?
why didn't Laura ask Sunny for help watching watching Spencer and Ace and Esme?
Right, or Anna?
Just ugh.
I mean, even though I felt Spencer was hella rude asking Martin if he ever held a baby, it's almost really valid because I'm like, Lucy and Martin. Now,
Yeah,
at least Lucy has raised a child, but of all the people she could have asked, like,
like,
I mean, she loves Liz. Why not Liz?
right. Backwards.
Yeah.
Um, I had let's see. I just lost it. Um, why were they acting like Ned was gonna get hurt? I'm sorry, Eddie Main was gonna get hurt from performing. They was, oh my god, get Ned off the stage. I was like,
Did you see like he actually kind of fainted?
yeah, but I was just like, So he can't be on stage, but he can walk around. Like, what's going on?
Right. He's either really sick or or he's not. What is it? I don't. I think they needed to make up their mind. That kind of acting direction was kind of weird.
Yes.
Mm.
I want Chalene to be out of breath from being in bed, not being on a run.
Have they? Did they have their love scene?
They
Or
had one once, and it was like a part of like a larger
mm,
montage with other couples.
okay, that's sad because I already forgot about it.
I mean, even if they don't have love scenes, I think that part of like the problem is some things should just be implied. Like so even yeah, like having Dex like wake up like shirtless while she's like under like tangled in covers. Not Dex. Did I say Dex?
Hmm.
Sorry. Having Chase like wake up like shirtless in the mansion and then like Tracy busted. You know, like some of those
Right.
kind of hijinks and those pieces would be fun. I it's so hard for me when they be like Brooklyn's a schemer when it's like is it scheming or is she being blackmailed again? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I'm just like
she's apparently getting blackmailed all the time.
all the time. I'm tired of it.
um, I had one interesting note. So loved again the scenes between Anna and Valentine. But in my mind, while watching the whole thing, or at least the majority of it, was I kept thinking, when is Anna gonna close the door? Because she's letting all outside in her house. I was like, I don't know, like the bugs or the wind or the in our household. Like you letting all the cold out. I mean, she just kept that door open. I was like, close the door.
That's hilarious.
I was screaming it in my head. Um, I also thought Sam and Dante were super cute in watching the Sprina fight. First of all, the fact that they were split on whose side that they wanted to take.
Poor Trina, poor Spencer.
And then, but I love the scene after where they were explaining each other's point of view. I thought that was so romantic. I loved it. So, I mean, even though they're not in bed, they are definitely having moments, great moments, living it up 100% and being the best couple ever. So, I appreciated those scenes a lot.
I also loved Dante like talking to her about vows and all of that, which was really cute.
Yes.
Yeah, they were very, very adorable. Um, it's also so funny because like Spencer's both of their cousin. And Dante used to be his stepdad or step no, I'm sorry, step uncle,
Right.
uncle in law, whatever. So yeah, I thought that was funny. Um, Curtis, bro, what? No, you didn't roll up to your ex-wife who you cheated on your current wife with and be
Mhm.
like, why you tell her? If you
Right.
don't go, if you don't get,
I thought he was going to be humble for once and apologize for putting her in the situation, but no.
I was screaming.
I was like,
Like screaming. The audacity.
he has a lot. There's a lot of audacity.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Those are my only notes.
You only know. Yeah. I had a lot of notes, but stuff that I already talked about in our conversation on what I liked and didn't like. So, except I did say, but I felt in the middle on Thursday. I felt like the Cyrus sighting was a little random, but then I was like, okay, because they didn't necessarily juxtapose his sighting with Drew and Spencer scenes. They juxtaposed it with Sprina's scene. So I was just like, why is Cyrus I didn't understand it until the end. And then he was like, yeah, we got a new person coming in. Drew
Oh, I
King.
understood right away.
Yeah. I didn't get it. I was like, Cyrus. But that's fine.
I loved it.
Love him. So that means we're gonna get some Ryan Lavery in jail. Drew Kane in jail scenes. I thought he might be just going away with Laura.
Mhm.
Laura and Valentine and Yuri, all of them just leaving on vacation.
Right, right. Are you ready for previews for next week?
Sure.
TV Guy has them all up, which is exciting. Um, so a couple things. We found out from Soap Opera Digest that the temp Molly, we will have her for at least through the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I That's it. I have nothing else for that. Um I just so we also find out that Brooklyn is gonna get found out. So whatever she copied or however she copied it is going to be traced back. She's going to lie about it and say something like she wanted to like read up on the Deceptor. And we also find out that Willow is going to be able to come home with like a small bubble of people who can be around her, and she's going to invite Nina into that bubble. But because it's going to be a small bubble, she's like, look, Carly gonna be here. I don't want no drama. And Nina's like, sure, I can be no drama to be in this bubble. Um, day by day, Monday, Carly and Sam clear the air. Drew receives a gift. Gladys is dismayed. Cody meets with Scott. Dante is suspicious. When is Dante not suspicious? Tuesday is
Suspicious.
Tuesday is a repeat. It will be the memorial service for Epiphany.
Mhm.
Wednesday, Tracy summons Diane. Cody struggles with his conscience. Whatever. Felicia does some digging. Nina gets good news. Martin is propositioned.
Ooh.
Thursday, Molly opens up to Christina. Curtis and Marshall support TJ. Brooklyn issues a warning. Finn expresses his regret. Terry encourages Elizabeth.
Hey, Terry sighting.
Yeah. And Friday, Tracy won't take no for an answer. Liz and Portia catch up. Sam touches bases with Curtis. Sunny reassures Dante. Anna is insistent. And that's next week. We shall see how it plays out.
Looks like a maintenance.
Ooh.
Well, I hope you continue to rest, feel better.
Thank you, thank you.
Have a great week.
You too, you too. Hopefully y'all don't cancel us. But I'm sure you'll let us know in the comments. Um, thanks for listening, y'all. See you next week.
Bye.